And Rob Bliss is on the other end of our line from Grand Rapids from Rob Bliss Events. He's the guy that made that 500-foot water slide for the community. And now, tomorrow, is the Zombie Walk, which is getting national attention. Good morning, Rob.
Morning, how are you?
Thanks for being available. What is the Zombie Walk?
Oh, well, the Zombie Walk is kind of like a parade minus all the floats and with a big zombie theme. Basically, everyone dresses up and acts like zombies. Huge crowd of people, and then everyone walks around, acting like zombies. So it's just all in the spirit of Halloween, and just to have a lot of fun.
Where does this have? I've seen people walk around like zombies, and it's usually the morning after New Year's Eve, or maybe after the election in this case, right? Where does this take place?
This will be between the two museums in downtown Grand Rapids at Anabalon Park on the west side by the river, and it's going to look really cool because it's a pretty long route. It's about going to take us about 45 minutes, and we'll be walking all along the river. So we'll be crossing over bridges and such, and I think that's going to look pretty cool.
Well, Rob, now how does someone walk like a zombie?
Walk like an Egyptian.
Well,
how do you do it?
Well, just just like in the movies, slow walking zombie, not the fast ones you see elsewhere.
So you got to be slow, right? You got to
slow, hands out,
Yeah.
maybe drooling, mouth hanging open,
Crouching a little bit, maybe.
drooling.
not really thinking.
Yeah, in a stupor, sort of, because you're a zombie is it's a dead undead person or something, isn't it?
Yep,
Yeah.
there you go.
Could you imagine, Gary, if you didn't know this was going on and you went downtown Grand Rapids to
Man.
take a walk by the river and you saw thousands of zombies moaning and groaning and it would be right out of a horror movie.
MPS, good point. Someone is going to be unaware that this was just a thing, just an event.
That's got to
And
happen,
they're
right?
They're going to call the cops, and they're going to say, hey, something really bizarre is going on down here.
Like that War of the Worlds thing.
That's right. It could
Yeah,
happen.
and that's actually what happened the first year. Yeah, the first year was insane because we expected maybe like a few hundred people, and then we got a few thousand people, and hadn't shut down any roads or anything. So we had cars that were just stuck in the traffic of all these zombies and couldn't move for like 10 plus minutes because we were just all in the streets and the cops hadn't shut down any roads.
Now, Rob,
Wow.
we assume there have got to be some rules and regs the zombies have to follow, right? You can't get too out of control.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, generally it's a pretty good crowd, but it is, there are thousands of people, and it's actually surprisingly kid-friendly and family-friendly. But really it's just being respectful, people like to dress up, but, there is private property around, and it can be an issue with, people wanting to put their handprints and, kind of bloody up, the surrounding area, which can be an issue. We'll be walking by, like, the museum and such, but hopefully I think everyone will be pretty respectful. So just to be, respectful and, treat everyone well, I guess.
Amanda Wall's worried about the kids.
Well, I'm worried about them. Can you imagine sitting in a car with your parents and then all these zombies walking by? I think I'd be scarred for life.
I want my mommy.
Yeah, well, it is after dark, and it is on Devil's Night, and have to of course also thank because big help from the Haunt, who is helping make this possible. They're involved, and they're also involved. They do that crazy stuff, I think, in Walker, Michigan, and they helped out to make this event happen. So, which is great because not a lot of businesses are totally on board with sponsoring this event, but they do fun, scary stuff too. So we partnered up for this. So I've got to give big thanks to them.
So, Rob, how many people do you expect?
That's a good question. I really don't know exactly how much. I had about 5,000 the first year, 10,000 last year, when it was just pouring rain. This year we are changing locations, but it looks like the weather's going to be nicer, so maybe more than 10,000, maybe not. We're going to have to wait and see.
Man, Rob, any award for the best-looking zombie?
It's such an impromptu
I can't imagine.
thing that we can't even think that far ahead.
Because
Okay,
imagine
now-
all the zombies would all be mad who didn't win, and you don't want that on your hands.
No.
Right? A bunch of
Oh,
mad
no.
zombies.
10,000
Don't
dead.
want them to turn on me.
Now, let's just talk about the odds, Gary Austin and Rob Bliss. If you have 10,000 zombies, people dressed as zombies, downtown Grand Rapids,
Sure.
I got to believe just by sheer numbers, there's a possibility, a good likelihood, that one of those is going to be a real zombie. How would you know?
Wow. Good point.
Good question.
Blend in
Yeah,
with the crowd.
There's always some people that will come there like dressed as like Ghostbusters or like
Oh.
some sort of like demon slayer to attack people. People dress up just in the most amazing costumes and outfits. One time, this guy actually paper mache'd himself into like this zombie car that he would just like walk around in, but he paper mache'd himself like into it, like just crazy.
Wow.
Thing.
All right, so if you want to do this, it's 7 o'clock Saturday night, and where do you go to? Do you have to register? You just show up, and where does
You
it
just show up? Just show
Okay.
up and follow the horde when we start moving. It's in between the two museums at Anabalon Park on the west side, right by the river.
Anabalin Park, and you'll see the assembly of zombies there, and they'll get all herded and organized, and it'll be, thanks to Rob Bliss, the Zombie Walk. Well, happy Halloween to you. It's a really cool idea. Another great fun news-making event in Grand Rapids, courtesy of you. So we wish you well and appreciate it very much.
No problem, and I will hear from you soon, hopefully about future events.
Anytime, we're ready, because he is making Grand Rapids part of Pure Michigan with the Zombie